On tonight's program, ladies and gentlemen, we have something that's going to make you sick.
Hello, my beautiful alien. Yes, that is what I call listeners of the Authentically Blue podcast. If you're new here, I am your host, Carlson, and you have caught a rerun episode. It could either be an interview that I did, or it could be a solo episode. For the solo episodes, I tend to have authentic rambles where I just ramble on what's in my mind with no script whatsoever. Or it could be a structured episode, either entertainment, my favorite TV shows, books, products, or it could be structured episodes in terms of a topic like boundaries. Anywho, I hope you enjoy this rerun episode and you can catch me on socials or Patreon for more content. See you soon for season 4. Bye guys. Hello, my beautiful aliens, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here to the Authentically Blue podcast. I am your host, Carlson, and in today's episode, we have another favorites episode. The date is currently Wednesday, the 30th of August, 2023, and let's get to it. In this episode, I'm going to be doing a royal TV show favorites episode. There's definitely going to be a part 2 because I am a royal fanatic. I love my royal TV shows. I've loved them since I was a kid. I don't know, just vibing with them. Speaking of, there's a beautiful butterfly just flying around. I'm recording this episode in the daytime, so that's kind of cool. Okay, if you're new here for my favorites episode, what I normally do is I introduce the item in type of entertainment. For this one, it's TV shows, so I'm going to say the type. For this episode, I'm going to be doing TV favorites for royals, as I just said. So I'm going to describe the blurb of the episode and give my thoughts without spoilers to encourage you to go watch the episode. Starting off strong, we have reun. I've talked about reun so much on this podcast and on my Instagram for the podcast, which you should go follow, by the way, because I'm more active on there compared to the other socials. However, reun was from 2013 to 2017, and the blurb reads, Mary, Queen of Scots, faces political and sexual intrigue in the treacherous world of the French court. I think it was my second show I ever watched after Suits back in 2013, and I don't know how to explain it. There's so much political. If you love history, there's a history element. Most of the show is accurate, except some particular parts because, they needed to jazz it up for the entertainment aspect of it. But even the parts that are not true are quite interesting, and you would genuinely think that's what happened. So definitely go watch Mary, Queen of Scots. It's very gritting. It sucks you in from the beginning. It's very entertaining. It's very upbeat. That's the best way I can describe it. So yeah, that's show number 1. Show number 2 I have for you is Medici. This was initially released in 2016 and it has 3 seasons. The blurb reads, Cosimo finds himself at the helm of his wealthy family when Giovanni, his father, expires. But when he realizes his father was murdered, the protection of his family is solely dependent on him. I watched the show in 2016, I believe, when it originally came out, and I was young, but I just after watching reun was hooked. It was a different aspect of it. Reun was more the French, the British. Reun was more focused on England, France, and Scotland. This was focused on the other side of Europe, and I found it fascinating because the culture was different, the way they go about things, the pride, the atmosphere. It's a whole other complete show, and I would highly recommend it. So therefore, check that out. What I have for you is Victoria. This is more English. So this was released in 2018 and it has 3 seasons. The blurb reads, Victoria ascends the British throne at the tender age of 18 and later falls in love with Prince Albert and gets married to him. I find this really... Okay, I'm the one speaking now. I find this so fascinating because the way Queen Victoria is and the way Queen Elizabeth is, showing how 2 different queens reigned and ruled their kingdom, is fascinating. The same kingdom, might I add. So, yeah. I really loved it, and it's further back in history, and I think they did a pretty amazing job at portraying that. The next show I have for you is, let's see, Once Upon a Time. This is more fiction. It has 7 seasons. I haven't finished it fully, but the blurb reads, Emma Swan's past disasters drag her into the small town of Maine. She is the long-lost daughter of a king who must protect her town from the curse of an evil queen. This show is a mixture of fiction and reality. It brings in all your favorite childhood folk stories. Most of the stories we read as kids, those fairy tales, those folk stories, I'm talking Cinderella, I'm talking Snow White, I'm talking Sleeping Beauty, I'm talking all these different people who were there when we were young and we thought was fiction, created into this real life thing that's happening. There's this specific character I can think of, Rumpelstiltskin, I believe. He does magic and stuff. It's so crazy watching it in real life, and I think it's also another show that's pleasurable to watch. Moving back to royal history, we have The Empress. This show was released in 2022 and it has 1 season. The blurb reads, when rebellious Elizabeth falls for Emperor Franz and becomes his unlikely bride, she enters a world of tensions and intrigue at the Viennese court. This show was released last year. I did watch it last year. I don't know, I had to repeat myself, but it wasn't similar to the other royal historical shows I'd watched, because I did check and it was facts, like true things that happened in the past, but it was very different. Again, the culture, the way she was portrayed. I think it's very interesting sometimes to see how actual people, like historical figures, portrayed into characters, because I personally did not know the Empress. Like, I did not know about Elizabeth before, but I did some research before watching the show, and I found it quite interesting. So that's also another nice one I would recommend. Now, the last one I have for you guys, which is kind of my favorite one, not on the list, but one of my favorites, I will add, is Queen Charlotte. Queen Charlotte is the spin-off of Bridgerton. One of the characters in Bridgerton, the TV show, is Queen Charlotte, and I'm going to read the blurb for you right now. The young queen's marriage to King George of England ushers in an epic love story and transforms high society. This show is insane because of how in Bridgerton we don't get to see much of Queen Charlotte. However, in the spin-off, we get to see how she struggled as a woman, as somebody who is very willed, as someone who has a strong personality. I found it really beautiful and modern. I mean, Shondaland produced it. What do you expect? Okay, she was the person who's executing the show. That is it for this week's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I rambled quite a bit. I was looking at my analytics the other day. I shouldn't do that as much, but I noticed how you guys enjoy when I have space between episodes. That's when you guys tend to listen more. When I did the weekly marathon, none of you all were listening. I was kind of offended with the amount of effort I put in, pulling those all-nighters and finding time to record and all that jazz. But thank you so much for tuning into my episode. If you've got this far and you are listening on Spotify, I'm going to leave a poll down below and comment pineapple. Okay, bye guys. See you for a second episode this week. Have a lovely week. Have a lovely few days till then. Bye.